the Soulish Podcast. My name is Whitney Apke, and I'm your host. On the Soulish Podcast, we're talking all about the ish of our souls. The ish being negative thought patterns, blockages, and challenges. But we'll also discuss the aha moments, how to deeply connect with ourselves and others, and the breakthroughs, big or small, that we experience in our body, soul, and spirit. We'll dive deep and talk about everything in between, of course. And I'm so excited to share my experiences and thoughts, as well as bring on guests who are thought leaders and truth seekers. It's my desire to uplift, encourage, and inspire you in each podcast. Well, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Soulish Podcast. And this podcast episode is all about the root chakra, which is the first chakra in the whole energy system, or the main 7 chakras. And I'm really excited to go through each one of these and dive a little bit deeper, see how they're connected, how they're related with the rest of ourselves, our spirit, soul, and body, as well as how they're connected with the rest of the 7 chakras. And I'm really excited for this mini series and to continue on this conversation because this has been so instrumental understanding the 7 main energy centers, the 7 chakras in my own healing journey and process as well. And I don't journal a whole lot, but when I do, I definitely look back and see that track record of what I was going through and how I was feeling emotionally, the thoughts I was experiencing and having or not able to get rid of, and then the physical issues or ailments I was experiencing as well. And now that I know what I know, I can look back and I can see the correlation and the connection and the relationship between all parts of who I am and what makes me up and how affected I was just by what I was experiencing or going through. And so it helps me in hindsight to look back and see, wow, like I'm really connected and I understand better why I was experiencing the physical things that I was experiencing and the soul things that I was experiencing and why my energy felt out of whack. And I didn't really know how to describe it because I didn't know about chakras or anything back like 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. And so it's really helpful now that I'm conscious and aware of it and can feel the difference in my energy as well as the energy in others. I feel so more equipped to help myself as I go through life day to day. So that's why I wanted to go through this with you because I felt like, gosh, this is something that I want everyone to know. I wish somebody would have told me this 10, 20 years ago because I'm always that why person. I always want to understand, why am I experiencing this? Where is this coming from? What triggered me? And so I think it's just so much better when you understand the whole person that makes you up, right? Even if you know all about chakras, hopefully something in here is something you didn't know before, or it leads you on to a deeper journey in diving deeper into the 7 energy centers, the 7 chakras. So let's get started with the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine, the pelvic floor, and the first 3 vertebrae. The root chakra is responsible for your sense of safety and security. The root chakra is comprised of whatever grounds you in your life. This includes your basic needs such as food, water, shelter, and safety, as well as your more emotional or mental needs such as letting go of fear or wanting financial security. And when these needs are met, you do feel grounded, safe, stable, and secure. It really has to do with the material world, the material needs, like the things that you can touch and grab a hold of. It really is about feeling grounded, feeling stable, feeling the earth beneath your feet not shifting and moving. It very much is that way. It's not material as in shopping, handbags or jewelry or something like that. It's all about that sense of security of I have and I have enough of, all of that. So like when we went through this pandemic at the very beginning and the shelter in place, and we had to wait in line at 7 a.m. for a thing of toilet paper, that was a time when probably all of our root chakras were going crazy and we were anxious and feeling fear of like, am I going to get it this time? That I've been waiting in line for an hour in the morning before they even open. And that whole situation and really this whole pandemic, this whole shelter in place for the collective as a world and as people, like we've really gone through the sense of insecurity and unsafe and feeling unsure about our future. And so that is all what the root chakra deals with. And so when you are in a situation where you're experiencing it long term of needs not being met or things possibly not working out, or like you lose your job, you're not sure if you're going to get food on the table or that there's going to be water at the store for you to buy, or if you're going to lose your apartment or lose your house. These are all very real issues and fears and things that we've been dealing with throughout this whole year of 2020. And the root chakra is what needs to be given a lot of love and tender care, because that is how you feel the energy flowing through you and out of you. It's when you're not able to let go and to release all of that fear, anxiety, fears of the future and being unsure or unclear of what that's going to look like, and letting go and just trusting the universe or trusting God, whatever your belief is. That's when it can become harmful to the rest of your being, because now you're not only dealing with emotional and mental, now it's becoming energetic. Now it's also becoming a physical issue. And I know a lot of people have been dealing with a lot of physical issues related to their root chakra during this time and have been dealing with like lower back pain, all sorts of different kinds of things that we're going to get into. And so that's why I believe this conversation about our chakras is so important, because then we can address them as we experience things on a day-to-day basis. So it's really important that our needs are met and that we feel grounded and that we feel safe and stable and secure, especially for our children and for the next generation. And that's why it's so important for us to pay attention to how we're feeling, how we feel like our energy is flowing within us. And then also just paying attention when things start kind of pinging physically. It's really important, not out of a place of fear, but out of a place of knowing if it's manifesting physically, it's obviously been an issue. Because I feel like the physical manifestation is usually like the last stage. If something is starting off emotional or mental or even spiritual or energetic, and then it translates into a physical ailment, that usually means that it's spilling over. It has no other place to go other than to manifest physically, because you're not getting rid of it. You're not releasing that fear, releasing those emotions or thoughts. You're ruminating and it's spinning within you and it's not stopping, and you're dreaming about it. You're having nightmares about it. You're stressed and it's impacting your work. It's impacting your thought life, your love life, life in general. And then therefore it's of course going to spill over physically, because that energy has nowhere other place to go other than within you. So you're going to feel it. The first chakra is really the foundation of emotional and mental health. That's why it's so important to make sure that this chakra gets love and care and time and attention by you. It is your connection to the traditional and familial beliefs that support the formation of your identity and a sense of belonging. So it is really like the foundation. It's the root. It's the grounding. It's the foundation, the source of all, good things, or the source of all insecurity and fear and anxiety. It's just how you are, where you are in life and what you're feeling. And if you're feeling anxious and feeling fear and not able to get out of that, and you feel energetically depleted. I know when I struggled with depression, sometimes it didn't make sense. Like, it wasn't necessarily my thoughts. It wasn't necessarily how I felt. like emotionally, it was this like energy that I felt just totally sucked dry, and I had nothing to give. And I felt like I couldn't even pick myself off the floor and forget getting out of bed. Like that just wasn't happening. I couldn't move my arms. Like I felt like someone was laying on me, like the covers were literally holding me down in bed. I felt so heavy and so sluggish and trapped, really. And so I think that's a part of the energy just being so bogged down and overworked, and now it's not even spinning because it has so many blockages and hindrances that it can't flow. So then of course you're going to feel sluggish and like you don't have any energy, and not physical energy. It's this spirit, it's energy, it's different from your physical energy, but it definitely translates when it gets to that point of depression like that. You definitely feel it in your physical body, but it's really hard to explain because it's not a physical energy, but it's an energy that you feel. And I think that our chakras, our energy centers, I really feel like they are the source that keeps us going even when it doesn't make sense of why we're continuing on. And so as you're struggling through whatever you're going through, that's why it's important to just take time to meditate and pray, or just have a moment of stillness and affirming yourself, affirming the truth, and making sure that, you give some love and attention to that root chakra, to that energy center, when you know that you're going through physical insecurity, lack of safety, lack of surety of things going well in your future. Maybe you've lost your job, maybe you lost your house, maybe you're not sure how you're going to get the next meal, but that is definitely the time that it will help you to keep going no matter what. And then you're not going to have more issues on top of the issues that you're already having, right? You're not struggling with mental clarity. You're not struggling with emotional issues such as depression. You're not struggling with physical ailments or diseases or disorders because you're not letting go of that stagnant, blocked energy, right? So it's just another part of what I think we should be doing as far as rituals, like morning rituals, bedtime rituals, and habits throughout the day of just taking time to just check in with ourselves and to just either turn on some music that boosts your mood, lifts the atmosphere, the environment, right? Or even just reading a quote, something that gives you something else to think about and lifts your spirit or your energy, right? We have that phrase of lifting your spirits, but it's really also elevating your vibration, elevating your energy, and that's the whole point. Let's get into a little bit deeper of the root chakra. There is a sacred truth with all chakras, and the sacred truth with the root chakra is that all is one. And this goes back to that connectedness. And it starts with like your family, being connected with your family, being connected within yourself. And so this sacred truth is that all is one, that you are connected to all life. Therefore, every choice you make and every belief you hold exerts influence upon the whole of life. And I really like that because I really feel that. I really feel like not only am I super connected within myself, and every part of me influences and interacts with every part of me, my spirit, soul, and body, but then I know that I am connected to all of life, and that everything I do and say has a cause and effect, and that even my energy has a cause and effect. If my energy is low, that vibration is low, I know that that influences the atmosphere. Like, for example, in my home, I know that that influences my environment. And like for my little dog, I'm sure he feels that because he definitely reacts when I'm having a bad day. He can tell. And he either comes by me, sits down, puts his paw over my foot or over my leg on the couch. He makes sure that he's close to me, loving on me, just showing me some support. And he doesn't know that that's what I need. He just feels the energy. She needs me to be close to her. She feels not good. He can just tell like it's negative energy and it has nothing to do with him. He can feel that because he knows the difference when I'm upset with him because he's done something naughty. But he also knows when it has nothing to do with him, nothing that he's done, but that I'm just low. And so he reacts to that because he's an animal, he's a creature, he's a being himself. He has some sort of awareness and consciousness that then he comes and he comforts me. And that is exactly how this influences, whether it's positive or negative. When I'm having a good day, my dog definitely can tell. And he's like, hey, I know I'm getting treats today. She's really happy. And so, and it comes down to that simple of a thing. And then I think it's magnified by, as a consciousness, as a collective consciousness, we influence and impact each other with the decisions that we make, the words we speak, and our energy and our vibration. We really do influence and impact each other and the whole of life. And the decisions we make have a lasting impact. So if you believe that, we can get, all whatever about it. We could get political about it. We could get whatever. But I think just on a basic level, foundation level of this truth is that we are connected to all life and we influence all life. Hey, it's me, Wit. Did you know that I'm a certified life coach? I have been coaching and mentoring people for over a decade now, and I specialize with issues of the soul and focus on inner freedom and manifestation. I can help you realign with your values and purpose, break free from emotional blockages and negative thought patterns. You will feel motivated and encouraged to take the necessary steps to live a fulfilling life. We all need support and someone to cheer us on or hear us out, and it would be a privilege to be a part of your journey. My sessions are designed so that you are free to address whatever you feel is most important. If you are interested, simply go to whitneyapke.com/coaching and sign up for a free 30-minute call. I can't wait to work with you. Our root chakra is also connected with specific areas of the body, which are the base of the spine, legs, bones, feet, rectum, and immune system. The root chakra influences our safety and security when with our physical, family, and or a group. It also supports our ability to provide for life's necessities and also to stand up for ourselves. It is related to feeling at home and is influenced by our social and familial law and order because that brings structure and security. It can help us when we experience fears of abandonment and is directly connected with our family bonding, identity, tribal honor code, support, and loyalty. If you have an imbalance in your root chakra, which can happen when you're experiencing something that's really difficult, or maybe even you are feeling a certain way and you don't really cycle through those emotions, you don't let go of those thoughts, things like that when things happen, whether that's just you have a fear of something and it's not that fear has actually ever happened to you, but you have that fear. So then that energy is around that fear, right? Especially if you don't let go of it and especially if you don't face it. But that energy then has all of this built up tension, and that can actually cause blockages or hindrances within that energy center that keeps you bogged down in a sense and keeps you ruminating or keeps you influenced by that fear, and you have energy behind it. It's not just a thought anymore. It's not just a feeling anymore. There's also energy behind it. So it's really, really, really important to make sure that when you're thinking something or feeling something for a long time and it's a struggle, or you've experienced something that's really hurt you, like a trauma or betrayal from a friend or a family member or something like that, it's really important to take the time to heal that, to let go, to forgive. And because if you have an imbalance in your root chakra, you may experience emotional imbalances such as anxiety disorders, fears, or even nightmares. Or you may even experience physical imbalances such as problems specifically in your colon with the bladder and or rectal malfunctions, immune disorders, lower back issues, leg issues, feet issues, like chronic lower back pain, even depression, multiple personality disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, addictions, sciatica, varicose veins, so many things you can experience when your root chakra is out of balance. Even eating disorders may also be a sign of a root chakra imbalance. And specifically in men, I read that prostate problems may occur if they have an imbalance in the root chakra. So this isn't really to cause fear, and I hope no one's having like a fear episode right now as I'm discussing all these things. But it is food for thought. When you are dealing with one of these physical issues, you know that it is connected with your root chakra. And as we go through the other chakras and talk about all the different imbalances or what that chakra influences as far as on the physical level, it will pop into your head like bing. Like, I know why I was dealing with that during that time because I was going through this. And then when you're going through life and you're feeling certain different things like depression or you're dealing with like an immune disorder, we are all connected. We really, really are. So sometimes a physical sign may be a sign that, oh, maybe that's related to, let's see, where is that related to? That's related to this chakra. And I have really been dealing with this fear or these thoughts or these feelings, or I went through this really difficult issue and I just haven't been able to let go. And so then it helps you kind of connect the dots. So then you at least know, oh, okay, I really am struggling because I'm just going, trying to like plow through life and just trying to get over it. But obviously I'm not, because now it's manifesting physically. So it just helps you to kind of stop and pause and evaluate, yourself and where you're at and maybe what you're dealing with, because it's really kind of like self-diagnosis. And you don't want something that is a little bit of an issue right now to become a chronic issue, a disease, a disorder, not just a little malfunction, a temporary malfunction of something physical. You definitely want to stop it right there. So if you're dealing with like loads of inflammation, that's a good sign that maybe something is out of whack, and it's really important that you stop and that you evaluate and you ask yourself some questions. So I actually really love self-examination, and I do it like all the time. I may be slightly obsessed, but I really like to make sure that I'm just connected with every part of who I am. And when I'm going through something really difficult, when I'm going through something that shakes up my security or my feeling of safety, my feeling of belonging and connectedness, for sure, I'm going to ask myself some questions and make sure that I am fully present with what is happening, that I'm not escaping, right? Because that's one thing that we do, especially when we're dealing with fear and insecurity and lack of safety or stability. We tend to like bolt, There are some people that just like stick with where they are because they don't want it to get any worse, so they're not going to progress for nothing, right? They're anchoring down deep in. They're not moving for nothing. Then there's the people that take off and you like never even see them ever again. And they just run for the hills, right? Because they just think everything is going to hell in a handbasket. And so they're taking off because they're so afraid. So everyone's different and everyone reacts different to fear. But the main thing is understanding why. Why am I dealing with this? And what is it? And how can I let go and address it, either by, getting help, seeking help from somebody, or talking with a close confidant, a friend that you can trust, or family. Sometimes that helps. But if you don't have any of those options and you're just dealing with this on your own, I know that many of us do that. We don't have any options, right? It's really good to have a moment of self-evaluation and self-examination and just ask yourself a couple things. These are questions that I don't ask all the time, but I think that they're really good, just blanket like questions to ask yourself, just even on a general level, just to kind of check in. But I love this question of, what belief patterns did you inherit from your family? And I think this question is really important because things do get passed down generationally. It may be just simple like mannerisms, right, that are handed down, or language that is handed down. But it also is belief systems, because when we grow up, we believe what our parents believe, right? That's how we get our sense of the world, and that's how we develop and have that sense of security and safety. And so whatever your belief patterns are, and being able to see how they relate to your family and your upbringing, and even the legacy that your family has passed down, is really important, because those things are really deeply rooted in you. So if you believe that you'll, like for instance, never find a faithful partner or spouse, that can stem from, if you look at your family line, of people not sticking with their partner or spouse, right? Having divorce in the family, having a legacy of divorce in the family, or unfaithfulness in your family. You can see that. Another question to ask is, do you have a personal code of honor, and what is it? This is a really great question, because it goes back down into your values and even your beliefs, but mostly like what your standard of truth is, what your standard of honor is, what your values, your morals, all of that are. The next question that I like to ask is, have I compromised my truth, my values, my belief, my honor code? Have I compromised in any way in this situation? Is that maybe why I feel insecure, unsafe, unstable? Because a lot of times when we compromise on our values, our morals, our beliefs, our truth, our values, we then feel a lack of safety or a lack of stability and feeling secure with who we are, because we immediately feel guilty, we feel shame, we feel like we're not good enough. And so that immediately attacks our identity and our sense of self-worth. So it's really good to ask yourself that. Another question that I like to ask, and this is kind of a question with unforgiveness, it's related to that, or just a disconnection, is, do you have any unfinished business with your family members and or friendships? Any kind of relationships. It could be family members, it could be friendships. Do you have any unfinished business? And this is because when you have something out there, right, hanging in the balance, it does weigh on you. And it is in the back of your mind. This is unfinished. I haven't resolved this. I haven't laid this to rest. I haven't said my piece, right? I haven't shared what that did to me when that person did or said that. And that disconnection can really impact your life, because it not only is hanging there in the balance in your mind or in your emotions, but it then influences your energy. It becomes a block. It also is something that you can then begin to feel ashamed about, guilty about. You feel like, I didn't go and make it right, whether you were in the wrong or not in the wrong, but I didn't at least close that chapter or close that book. It's open, right? It's still to be continued. Or it could be something within like your family, like a family rift, which I've experienced. It's a good thing for us to do to make sure that we are at peace with everyone and everything. It's very, very, very important for us to pursue healing and to pursue connectedness in all areas of our life, because this is not only going to help that person or family group or whatever, but it's going to also really help you. And any kind of things hanging in the balance or unresolved business that you have, any guilt or shame or sense of lack of self-worth, anything that you see as a pattern that is a negative pattern that you've inherited, or it's just been taught to you to be that way or to say things like that harm you and harm others, that energy does come back to you. Whether you were hurt by something you said or did to somebody, or it was just that person that got hurt by it, it doesn't matter. That energy still comes back to you. So either way, cause and effect, action and reaction, consequences to every action, word, thought, everything, right? If we believe that, then we know that all of that is energy coming out of us and coming back to us. So the way that I heal that is I definitely think through the situation that I'm in. I definitely think about my words, my promises, the things that I felt, the things that I've done. And I definitely do a self-examination. And I like to ask questions like those questions. I like to ask myself, did I handle that with integrity? Did I handle that with honesty? Was I true to myself? Was I true to them? And I like asking myself that, not to get down on myself or be self-critical or anything like that, but it's just, hey, am I good? It's touching base. How do I feel about that? How does that sit in me? Does it sit right? Does it sit well? Does it sit wrong? And if so, then I deal with that on the emotional and mental level and energetic level, and how I heal from things that have hurt me or that have me kind of bound up, blocked, hindered in some way. And maybe it's something that I can't necessarily address with somebody. You can still heal that within yourself by taking time to affirm the truth and breathe into that energy center, whichever one it is. In this sense, it's the root chakra. And I also watch my thoughts and my words about things of security, and safety and stability. So anything to do with my finances or my home, my environment, even my future, my world, all of that, I make sure that I speak positivity, not negativity. I'm not a doomsday person anyways, but I don't like to even be critical, like, yeah, it's all going to shit. I don't want to talk like that. I want to be positive, not fake, and not having, a good understanding of what is going on and what the issues are, and definitely wanting to be a part of the solution. But I do not speak negatively about the future. I want to make sure that I have a positive, optimistic outlook, because that is my goal, right? It's our goal to have a happy life and to enjoy it. And so it's really important to make sure that even in your sarcasm, even in your jokes, that you are still making sure that they are uplifting, that they are not tearing down, that they are not declaring doom over your life, right? Over your finances. And I think that's really important, because that has energy behind it. Because words have life or death in them, and they influence, right? So I take time to meditate and to pray. And a lot of times it's just to also be still. And I think stillness really helps you with the root chakra, because it stabilizes you. And it's not that I, bat away all thoughts and don't think any thoughts in that moment of stillness, but I definitely take time to just be quiet and then to see how I feel. And if I feel stagnant or stuck and then a thought comes up, I usually know that's my being telling me, hey, this is the thought that is hanging you up and that is blocking this energy right now. And so I'll just go ahead and address it. I trust myself, same as we do when we trust our body. Our body is craving zucchini, eat zucchini, If your body is craving a banana, eat a banana. And it's the same thing with your energy body, that it tells you what it needs. It will. Once you get in tune with it and you take time to spend with yourself and get in tune and connected with yourself, you know what your energy body needs. You know when you need to go into meditation or prayer. You know when you just need to dance. You know when you need to move. Just even listening to music can be that unblocker where you just sit and you soak and you listen to something that makes you feel all the feels. That is really what healing your energy body is all about. And there are so many different ways to do it. And a lot of people just walking out in nature, that does it for them. However you heal your energy systems, do it. Whatever is your way, do it. There is no wrong way. There's only a right way. The wrong thing to do would be to ignore how you feel and to ignore the blockages or the hindrances and feeling bogged down or stagnant. That would be the wrong decision. But the right decision is always just to connect and take that moment. And specifically with your root chakra, anything that feels unstable, anything that makes you feel not grounded and insecure and like the rug is going to be pulled from out under you, any kind of feelings like that, that it is your root chakra crying out for some love and attention and some help, because there is something out of balance. And it may be something that you're experiencing, or it just may be something that's been lingering for a while, kind of behind closed doors, and it's time to now address that fear or address that memory or that pain, whatever it is. And so I just want to encourage you guys as we go through these next 6 episodes of the 7 main chakras energy centers. I just want to encourage you to go deep with me. Let's dive down deep. Let's ask the questions. Let's take the time to evaluate and to have a moment where we connect with ourselves. Because when we connect with ourselves, we are connecting with the world. We are connecting with all life. And that will help us to then feel connected with all life if you're feeling very disconnected. Let's just dive down into ourselves. Let's connect with ourselves because that will help us feel better connected with each other. And that's what it's all about, right? So I'm so excited for next week and talking about the sacral chakra. It's going to be really good. And I'm really looking forward to it. So I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Soulish is not only a podcast, but a community where we can relate to each other and support each other in our soul journeys. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at I Am Soulish.